All right, this is part 2 to 1552 Greenbriar. I am Caleb. We are out by the back patio where we have our 2 cleanouts. We'll call this one East. There's our manhole right there. East and West cleanout. These are 7-inch caps. So we'll start by we'll go to the manhole. So we'll go to the west riser. And we will go ahead and zero out our distance indicator on the bottom. It does go at like a 45-degree angle, and it meets the common line, which is what we'll be calling this, at the top of the drain. So they're dropping in from the top. At one point, this part of the house is dug, or the part of the yard in the grassy knoll is dug up. There's plastic pieces. There's obviously cleanouts that I'm servicing right now, as well as Barbara's mom's house at 1552 Greenbriar. That is also all SDR, so that's been replaced. So I believe these cleanouts are just put in just for a good measure. There's nothing wrong with them. We do have the issue of when we're running the residential cleaning from 1552 that we pop up the east riser. That's the one closest to the manhole, and it's really just because of how they're just kind of designed, and we'll touch base on that when we get there. But right now we're dropping into our common line. We'll zero out our distance indicator on the lower left hand side of the screen. Right there you can see there's Barbara's mom's house, 1552 Greenbriar, coming in. It's kind of above, but it's on the side of the drain because the 4-inch drain joining what looks to be an 8-inch drain or a 10-inch drain for the common line. I believe that in the course of snaking, we just hit the drain, the bottom of the drain, and we just kind of shoot up. Because there's the clean out that I'll be cameraing just in a second. And I think it's just kind of how it's designed. There's nothing inherently wrong with how the drain is. Everything's flowing good, nothing's broken, no root intrusion. So it's just kind of a funny mishap. I think it's just at the proximity. I think because there's no roots here, we can just push the cable in dead, let gravity do its job, and once we get past that fitting, go full blast, and be full blast on the way back, spinning for the cleaning purposes. But that kind of explains why we've been having those issues. So we had that transition that I identified in the residential part 1 video, and so we're heading to the manhole. I'm just going to go ahead and do it again. And there's our manhole. So we're going east, and if we were to keep theoretically going, we would be going in the manhole heading north. It will be going underneath, and that's where we would have all the other Greenbriar's homes that would be joining into that line. So I'm not going to camera that way because there's a risk of hurting the camera whenever you push through a manhole. So we will not be cameraing past that. We do have some people running water. There's been periodically people using some sort of detergent, so hopefully we won't get too soaked up. But I will go ahead and say that I did initially camera up to 60 feet and in the large common line drain, and we did not have any issues. We have, that black stuff. It's just a soap scum, it's kind of film. Every sewer is going to have that. That's nothing to worry about. So we're in the east riser. And as we get here, we're also on from the top. We got 1552's line right there. And now we're heading west up to, we're going to see some other houses join. We'll just kind of go until we've gone too far or far enough where we get soaked up and we can't see anymore. Now, I've been told in the past that another company does do some jetting services on the common lines, and I tend to seem to agree with me that they do actually do that. So, the little stuff that's in here right now, very small, not problematic, but that's what the jetting would clean out. Theoretically, they didn't jet it for multiple years. It still probably wouldn't be a problem, but we just want to keep up on the jetting stuff. So, I'm not going to push much further because you see it's kind of struggling a little bit more. Whenever we have a big drain, the camera will eventually get bounced up on itself. Just know that, Nate. If you're in a big, large drain, it can actually So I'm at 62 feet, and everything looks great so far. I'm not seeing much of any roots, and so yeah, hope that kind of explains why we're shooting up the house when we're cleaning it, which is kind of, it's not a real big issue, but it is kind of a funny issue. But we still are able to clean that drain. I think it takes me 2 or 3 minutes, 2 or 3 attempts sometimes to get through there, and then I do just fine. So as long as I can clean the line, it is serviceable, and nothing looks like it's out of code or broken. Offsets, bellies, and root intrusion is very minimal. If there's any other questions, refer to the invoice summary. There will be a text version of these 2 cameras, part 1 and part 2 on there. And if that still doesn't answer any questions, feel free to give Garvin Sewer Service a call and ask for either Caleb or Mitch, and we'll be able to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much for your time.